Good morning. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living. My name's Justin Vogel. I'll be facilitating the meditation. So what we're going to do, I just encourage you at this time to just center yourself. If you choose to close your eyes, do so. This is going to be just a silent meditation of breathing and contemplation for about 15 minutes. In the last 2 minutes, we're going to go into complete silence, for in the silence is where God is truly realized. So I just encourage you, we're going to go into 2 minutes of silence here. Just let your intention deepen and your realization of God become deeper and deeper in this silence. I encourage you at this time to bring yourself back to the present moment. Just feel the chair underneath you, your feet on the floor. Continue your awareness of every breath, recognizing the grace and beauty present here now. Thank you all for joining us this morning. Our celebration service will begin in about 13 minutes. Thank you.
Saying all is well and it's as it should be. It's easy when things are all pretty and clean. But when I think things aren't happening how they're supposed to, I try to imagine what would Jesus do. What would he say about the homeless and hungry? What would he do about the beggar and thief? What would he say to the drunk and drug addict, or the young girl selling herself on the street? Do you think he'd see heavenly perfection underneath their earthly shell? Through the veil of confusion to what is true, I believe that's what Jesus would do. Through the veil of confusion to what is true, I believe that's what Jesus would do. I believe that's what Jesus would do.
this life is one act. Why do we lay all these traps? We put them right in our path when we just wanna be free. I will not waste my days making up all kinds of ways to worry about all the things that will not happen to me. So I just let go of what I know I don't know, and I know I only do this by living in the moment, living my life easy and breezy, with peace in my mind, with peace in my heart, with peace in my soul. Wherever I'm going, I'm already home, living in the moment. I'm letting myself off the hook for things I've done. I let my past go past, and now I'm having more fun. I'm letting go of the thoughts that do not make me strong, and I believe this way can feel the same for everyone. And if I fall asleep, I know you'll be the one who'll always remind me to live in the moment, living my life easy and breezy, with peace in my mind, with peace in my heart, peace in my soul. Wherever I'm going, I'm already home. I can't walk through life pushing backwards. I have tried. When holy water was where at best, barely where my fingertips. Now I have to hold my breath, 'cause I'm swimming in a sea of it. It used to be a world out there, heaven second rate hand me down. But I walked it with the river in the air, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now. Yeah. Everything, everything, everything is holy now. Yeah. Read a questioning child's face and say it's not a testament. Well, that'd be very hard to say. See another new morning dawn and say it's not that for me. I tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood and saw a little red-winged bird shining like a burning bush, singing like a scripture verse. It made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out how things have changed since then, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now. Everything, every little thing, everything is holy now. Yeah, everything is holy now.
nobody can tell ya. There's only one song worth singing. They may try and sell ya, 'cause it hangs them up to see someone like you. But you've gotta make your own kind of music, sing your own special song, make your own kind of music, even if nobody else sings along. You're gonna be knowing the loneliest kind of lonely. It may be rough going just to do your things, the hardest thing to do. But you gotta make your own kind of music, sing your own special song, make your own kind of music, even if nobody else sings along. So if you cannot take my hand, and if you must be going, well, I will understand. 'Cause you've gotta make your own kind of music, sing your own special song, make your own kind of music, even if nobody else sings along. Yes, we gotta make our own kind of music, sing our own special song, make our own kind of music, even if nobody else sings along. Something's calling me.
It was like something was calling me and pulling me into a different direction. And then I found Center for Spiritual Living Greater Las Vegas. My relationship with the center has shown me a deeper realization of God and how this indwelling presence guides, sustains, and directs me in every capacity and every experience in my life. As I continue to study the teachings of these great mystics and sages, I will find more love, peace, and a general sense of universal good and harmony in my life.
Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before.
Is something calling you?
Keeping it real, keeping it real, keeping it real, keeping it real, keeping it real with Reverend Laura. Keeping it real, keeping it real, keeping it real, keeping it real, keeping it real with Reverend Laura.
This is Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas. At CSL Greater Las Vegas, it is our mission to inspire spiritual discovery through community connection, exploration, and celebration. This mission supports the all-inclusive vision of Centers for Spiritual Living worldwide, in which we envision a world that works for everyone and all of creation.
Well, good morning. I'm looking at you from a different perspective today. 20 minutes ago, I was perfectly fine standing on my own, and then the muscle spasm started. So I have a knee that's been a bit problematic the last few weeks. So anyway, welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas. I'm Reverend Laura, and it is my pleasure to welcome you here. I see new faces I've never seen before. I see faces I love dearly and have seen frequently. And then there are all those faces that we can't see. So I'd like to say good morning to the people that are joining us online. If you would, just turn around and wave at them. Let them know that we appreciate them being here with us too in whatever way they can. And I apologize for those of you that are in the back few rows that may not be able to see very well because of other people's heads. But you know what? I see at least a dozen empty chairs up here in the front. This is a good time if you'd like to move up front. There's nothing, nobody's going to say anything about it, and honestly, we won't engage you in any more way than we would if you were in the back. So, if you'd like to move, please make yourself comfortable. We appreciate that, just so you can see and participate today. This is not my usual thing, so we're going to see how this goes today. I'm 30 years as a classroom teacher, I stood to do all of that, and now. As a minister for the last 8 years, I've spent a lot of time standing too, so sitting is a little different for me. But anyway, we're going to kick it off with our our opening song, which is Energy of God. And so we're going to turn it over to Justin here.
So if you're comfortable standing, please join us.
Yeah, I am the energy of God. 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 Yeah, I am the energy of peace. 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 I am the energy of love. 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 Yeah, I am the energy of God. 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 Yeah, I am the energy of God.
All right, at this time, greet your neighbor if you're comfortable doing so.
All right. So we have with us our practitioner of the day, Kelly Capsar, to give us our affirmation and invocation, accompanied by Justin. So I'll turn it over to you guys.
All right, so on the screen, we regularly have the affirmation. There we go, yay. So I'm going to say it, you can repeat after me. I welcome the unlimited potential of my personal evolution, moment by moment. And now let's say it together. I welcome my personal potential of my moment by moment.
Fill me, God, be thou my grace. Fill me, God, be thou my grace. Fill me, God, be thou my grace. I know God's light, it shines within me. I know God's light, it shines within me. Join me now. Fill me, God, be thou my grace. Fill me, God, be thou my grace. Fill me, God, be thou my grace. I know God's light, it shines within me. I know God's light, it shines within me.
And so continuing in this moment of grace, in this moment of divine, in this moment of goodness, I simply speak my word right here and right now, that the truth that is, the breath that is, the life that is, the grace that is present in, through, and as each and every one of us right here and right now. The presence of God, the presence of grace moves every beat of my heart, every cell and muscle of my body, and it is present in every moment. Whether it's obvious or not, that presence, that grace. And so breathing in, I know this is the truth of every single person, every single living being, that this grace is right here present in this and every moment. And so breathing into that knowingness, I simply surrender. I lean back into the arms, the hands of grace, of divine, of support, of love, of life. And I simply let it guide and take over. And so surrendering into this breath with deepest gratitude, surrendering into this grace with deepest gratitude for all that is becoming. I simply let it be, knowing it truly already is right here and right now. And together we simply say, and so it is.
All right, sing together.
Fill me, God, be thou my grace. Fill me, God, be thou my grace. Fill me, God, be thou my grace. I know God's light, it shines within me. I know God's light, it shines within me. I know God's light, it shines within me.
Thank you, Kelly and Justin, and special thanks to practitioner Valerie Weiner, who wrote the affirmations for this month. So this month we are talking about living in the question, about allowing ourselves to not be focused on only the answers, but also to have a little grace for the questions that we often have in our lives. You know, living in the question requires us to cultivate a mindset of openness, a mindset of receptivity, where we're in wonder and awe about what's happening around us. And I think sometimes when we need to know the answers all the time, there's a rigidity in our lives that doesn't allow a lot of space for grace, doesn't allow a lot of space for wonder to happen. And so rather than clinging to our rigid beliefs or some prescribed dogma about how life should be, it is very beneficial to us to stay open to new perspectives and new ways of being. This doesn't mean that we abandon our principles or the things that we hold as high value in our lives, but it gives us a place to accept things that we might not expect, that we might not have been able to anticipate, and to see the wonder that's available there as we're doing that. It allows us to recognize that our lives are always evolving, that there's always change happening for us throughout our lives. So today's talk title is Moving Through Life's Mysteries. And this idea of being in the mystery of things and to allow the place for that unknown to exist in our lives, I find that to be an exciting way of living. For me, there's a wonder about what might happen next, or if I decide to do this, what would happen if I not have some preconceived idea. I've said this many times, road trips are my favorite things, and honestly love to get in a road trip and just go and see, oh, I wonder what happens if I turn that way, as opposed to what the GPS is telling me to. She usually gets really irritated with me, but I had my first GPS back in the early days before we had cell phones that we have nowadays, and it was a Magellan, so I called it Maggie. And Maggie had an attitude. If I didn't do things the right way that she wanted, I could tell, I swear, her recalculating word would just get more severe every time I went the way that she didn't tell me to go. But anyway, I digress. I love the mystery of life. I love to see what's possible if I try something. And I've told you this before. I was a science teacher. Experimenting was my joy. Let's see what happens if we do this, as opposed to doing that. We all have these preconceived, prescribed ways of doing things. Well, what happens if we deviate from that? What if we go into that mystery of life? We sometimes worry about the questions and so forth so much. It's like, I don't want to be in the question. I want to be in the known. I don't want to be that. But questions they're not things that we have to overcome. They're not problems that have to be solved, but they're an invitation to explore life in a different way. That invitation for self-exploration, for growth, for finding a new way of being, a new way of doing things. I think so many times our lives, that we find things that aren't working in our lives, but we're so afraid to try it a different way because we know the known is predictable. It's like, okay, I'd rather you do something 6 times the wrong way than try something new. That just, to me, is such a rigid way of being. It's like there's so much delight in it, and what's the worst that's going to happen? You'll be wrong. Okay, then we go on and try something different next time. This life that we're living is a magnificent tapestry, all woven together of all these wonderful threads. And what happens if one thread connects in a different way than another thread? Some people would call that a mistake in a tapestry. But it's a beautiful part of life. Persian rugs, some of the most valuable tapestries in the world, are purposely designed with a flaw. In the philosophy of the people that make the rugs, only God is perfect. And so they purposely weave something in there that's a little different. I think that's a way of putting our own individual expression into something in a way that nobody else could predict. That we actually go through this life of weaving things together in a way that is not predictable. And there is a beauty in it. There's a magnificence that happens there. Every time we move through our lives, we encounter all kinds of questions that ask us to explore them. I think as human beings, we are natural seekers. And there's something really great about that. Every discovery that's ever been made came from a question. What if? What if there was a way of doing this? Or if we observe something happening and we try to create it because we were like, what made that? What caused that to happen that way? What can I learn from it? How can I do it differently? How can I take what I've seen and use it for my own life? These questions beckon us to explore deeper and deeper into our own way of being. They take us into a path of exploration that would not necessarily be possible if we stayed in the answer. If we only worry about what we know, then all of those great discoveries that are happening in our world would not have happened. We are here to explore our lives with uncertainty and allow grace and wisdom and intuition to operate through us. How can we do that without succumbing to the fear and the worry and the doubt? I think that's one of the big key things there is there is such comfort in those known answers. So how do we release that and let ourselves be in the question a little bit more? I love this quote from Rilke. Be patient towards all that is unsolved in your heart and try to love the questions themselves. Having a little space for patience for ourselves when we don't know the answers, instead of getting down on ourselves for thinking we should be able to figure it all out and have it all be the way that we want it to be. Our New Thought philosophy teaches us that the key to shifting our lives, to changing things in our lives, is to go from that idea of resistance to acceptance, to move from that which we resist, that which we are trying to control in our lives, to a place of openness and acceptance and wonder at the possibility that's available there. And so instead of viewing questions as obstacles that we have to overcome, then we see them again as invitations to go on that journey, to embark on that exploration of self-growth and self-discovery. As we begin to navigate our life's mysteries, we actually have this wonderful creative potential within us to solve all of our problems in our lives. And I think when we tap into that creativity, we are actually tapping into the divine. I do a lot of art and a lot of creativity, and so on my Facebook feed, I get a lot of that stuff coming up. And so I just saw this morning it said that creativity is intelligent in action. Creativity is intelligence in action. It's like you have to have this intelligent universe moving through you in order to be creative. This impress of spirit has to be moving through us in order to be creative. And when we open ourselves up to not knowing the answer to something, to living in the mystery of it, then we open ourselves up to a place of greater creativity, greater potential. And so we can do this by cultivating that positive and empowering mindset instead of that mindset that thinks it has to know all of the answers, that has to push away any challenge and run from any question. If we can get ourselves in a place where we don't have that happening for us, then I think that we have a greater potential of really experiencing the creativity that we have, that's available to us. So this is a line from the poet Pablo Neruda. He says that perhaps the answers to all our questions are simpler than we think, closer than we imagine. And so this idea that spirit is there available for us, you can call it whatever you want to call it, creativity, intelligence, love, energy, whatever that is, it doesn't matter, but it is closer to us than we can even imagine it being, and then there's where the answers lie. So, as I said, I've got this problem here with my knee, so I've been working on it for about 10 days with my treatment work. And our treatment work is very powerful, and it solves a lot of problems. But there's also an element of me trying to know what I need to know to figure out what the problem is that's causing this knee to act up. So there's this element of knowing the answer before I go into it. And so I've been doing my treatment work, and I've had a lot of improvements. There's been, first it was my back and my knee. Now it's just my knee. So I was excited about that. But this morning, it was really problematic this morning. And I'm sitting there working through this, and I'm thinking, oh, darn it, Laura, you forgot. There's this treatment that I do from Joel Goldsmith, and it is the one that probably works better for me than anything else because it isn't about knowing the answer. It's about turning it over to that creative intelligence that is closer than I think. As they say in the song, nearer than the air, closer than our hands and feet. And it goes something like this. It's from his book, The Heart of Mysticism, and try as I might this morning, I couldn't find it in there, but it goes something like this. Okay, God, I don't know what's wrong here, but I know you do. So search my mind, search my body, search my soul, search my consciousness, search anything that you want. And if you find anything in there that doesn't belong, I don't even need to know about it. You can handle it. And I turn it over to Spirit. And there's something so liberating about that, about just releasing the need for me to figure out the answer, about releasing the need to control it. It hasn't worked yet, but I know it will. I know that there's a moment in there, but right now it's being difficult. But to release that, it's like I can sit and try to analyze, okay, what kind of thinking did I have that caused me to have this condition show up? I can sit and try to analyze what did I do yesterday that might have caused it to happen. What is it that I need to change in my life to make this happen? But there's something very freeing about saying, okay, I don't know what it is, but I know you do. And I'm going to turn it over to you. I know I've said this a lot of times, but we take that one step towards Spirit and ask the question, and Spirit takes 1,000 steps towards us with the answers. And it can be such a freeing and liberating experience when we can transform the problems in our lives and use them as a stepping stone to overcome some of these issues that we have. I'm going to have a slide about that. Our challenges can be seen as opportunities. And those opportunities can always be something that leads us to our next greater experience in life. It isn't about trying to figure this out intellectually and trying to solve it at the, what is it, Einstein says, you can't solve a problem in the same mindset that created it. You know, if we are in that state of mind right now, it's difficult to see possible answers. And so step out of it. Step out of it, step into the mystery, step into the question of it. You know, that one of our most fundamental principles of New Thought is that our minds shape our reality. I remember hearing that for the first time from Ernest Holmes, the change your thinking, change your life. And it was shocking to me. It was shocking. I never put the two together. And I was an intellectual. By this time I already had two college degrees. And, to change my thinking is affecting my life. Oh my goodness, what a concept for me that was. But when we begin to step out of the idea that we have to know the answer and we step into the mystery of it, then we actually begin to harness the creativity and the potential that's available as we do that. Okay. This is from Rumi. I love this poem from Rumi. Really answers this quite well. Do you think I know what I'm doing? That for one breath or half breath, I belong to myself? As much as a pen knows what it's writing, or a ball can guess where it's going next. There is a great mystery that has created us. We don't even understand the mystery of creation. We don't understand exactly how all of this happens. How when we become a fertilized embryo in our mother's womb, that is one particular type of cell, then that cell divides and becomes brain cells, skin cells, heart cells. Scientists haven't figured out how that happens yet. There are theories about it, but there's no definitive answer yet. We don't even know how we come into existence. That's our first great mystery. And then to understand how our interrelationship with all of life. I'm sure most of us have had experiences where you can't even possibly figure out how that happened, and yet you know you're connected to something greater than yourself out there. That there is something out there, this power, this presence that has brought us to our existence the way it is right now and given us everything we need and is right there for us to rely on at any time. You know, the master teacher Jesus puts it this way: ask and it shall be given to you. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door will be opened unto you. As we begin to understand more and more of our place in the universe and our relationship with Spirit, we begin to understand that asking, seeking, and knocking are all stages of spiritual development. They're all part of our growth. Joel Goldsmith says this: when the idea has been ruled out of consciousness that in finding God, things will be added, and when people come to the realization that in finding God, they will find all things included, then we'll come to the end of the search for God. When we actually begin to realize that everything is already included within us, when we begin to have that realization that there is this power and this presence that is moving through us, that has created us in the beginning, that is living its life through us, then so many of the worries and the struggles and the things that we deal with in our lives dissipate. This is part of our spiritual development, is to really begin to embrace that idea that there is a powerful good in the universe, and it is using me to experience life around me, experience life through me, experience life as me. That this power and this presence is part of this great mystery, and it is what is providing the questions for us to seek the answers to. It is part of what is providing us this place of mystery in our lives. And so what is mysterious for you? What is mysterious for you in life? What is it that you're wanting to know? Is there anything about New Thought that is challenging you right now? Is there anything that is open to the question? As I was driving in this morning, I was thinking about something I've seen lots of ministers do before, and they often call it stump the minister. And it's about opening it up to questions. And I thought, we're living in the questions right now. So let's open it up here. We've got about 10 minutes before we need to be finished with the talk. What questions are on your mind? What challenges are you having? I've got my knee happening right now. What is it we can know for you or help you seek the mystery of that's happening in your life right now? Everybody's life is great and good right now. Yes. All right.
I have ongoing, what do you call it? Well, it's upper GI, it's GI issues.
Uh-huh.
And listening to you talk about this, about what's happening inside that may have chronic nausea or, frequent GI issues, and making me think about that, that was very helpful. I was going to tell you that after service, but that was extremely helpful.
Okay, great. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, we can take any issue that we're experiencing in life and take it down and see if we can find the spiritual nature of it. Every single cell in our body is a creation of the divine. Every single cell is the divine in what we call microcosm. Macrocosm being the large thing, but microcosm being the tiny, infinite, smallest component of it. And so if we can look at spirit as that one perfect cell in our body, and then move outward from there. Well, if it's a one perfect cell, then you know what? It's also one perfect organ. And then it's also one perfect body system. And it's also one perfect body. And so we can begin to expand that concept of what we believe the divine is. And I'm not kidding you. Right now, as I'm talking about this, the cramp in my leg is easing up. As I begin to remind myself of that truth. Now, we have all had issues, whatever kind of issues they are, and sometimes you find a moment of relief, and then the pain comes back again. And then you have to remind yourself of that again. And so sometimes it's a constant reminder of that as we're moving through things. As we, those of you that have been in the bathroom, I love the sign that I put up in there. Perfect assimilation. Perfect circulation. Perfect elimination. We don't want to keep that stuff in us that we don't need. But we can take in exactly what we want, and our bodies can use it to perfection. And they can move through our bodies and do exactly what it needs to do, and then we can get rid of the stuff we don't need anymore. Perfect bodies, perfect organ systems, perfect health. That's the nature of who we are. And the other things that we experience in life are challenges to move through. Obstacles, if you want. If we can shift that from being something that is debilitating into something that is transformative, I think we can really begin to change our experience of life. I think we can really begin to liberate ourselves. We are on, as Ernest Holmes says, that ever upward spiral of evolution. And I know I've talked about this before, but we move in a spiral, and we're moving upwards. So we have a problem. The problem is over here. And so my spiral right now, I'm looking at it directly. But as I move up, I begin to see that problem from a higher state of consciousness. And the problem doesn't seem to be as impactful as it was when I was ground level with it. Now I can rise above it and see more of the things that are involved in that problem, in that obstacle that I have in my life. And as I begin to do that and begin to really work with my spiritual development, I really can begin to have a totally different experience. That doesn't mean the problem has gone away. I am experiencing it at a different state of consciousness. Therefore, it impacts me differently in my life. And so as we begin to take each one of those challenges, each one of those stepping stones, and begin to really look at it from that different perspective, from the mystery, from the questions, from the what is here for me to know? What is here for me to grow? You know, how am I to shift in consciousness? How am I to transform through this? Then we begin to have a totally different experience in life. Were there anybody else have any questions? Judy?
I've got a relationship issue.
Okay.
I have a grandson that would be, he's 35, old enough to be supporting himself, but he's not doing it. He would be homeless, except I'm letting him have a place to sleep on my couch. His philosophy of life is about as opposite of mine that you could get. And as much as I'm trying to see it from that perspective, he keeps pushing at who I am and what I am.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm torn. My instinct says let him go on his own.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's homeless, he's homeless. My heart says it's going to be 100 degrees out there. And so this is my dilemma. And it's scary out in Vegas at night too.
Yeah.
If you're homeless. So I'm in prayer. A lot of ho'oponopono.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of, self
Forgiveness work.
forgiveness.
Yeah.
And my boundaries are firm, but it's still like a thorn that's digging at you on a regular basis.
Well, it sounds like you're in a good place with it as far as having your boundaries and so forth. And we just have to remember that every single person is on their own path of evolution. And we're not responsible for other people. And yet we have the compassionate part of ourselves and the things that that we need to do. But his journey is his journey. And I think part of the mystery that is involved in all of that is, why can't they just see it the way I want them to see it? Why can't they just do it? I know this is right. I've lived it. It's made my life a wonderful thing. Why can't these other folks see it this way? And there's just, I love to go back to Goldsmith, the way he talks about people who are at different levels of evolution. He says it'll be 1,000 lifetimes before the veil is lifted. Because people are on a different trajectory. Young souls, old souls, however you want to describe it. Some people are just not at the place where we are in consciousness. And so I think you're spot on about doing your own work for your own self. We would love to save everybody out there, but we can't. It's not even our job to do it. It's our job to take care of ourselves, And that doesn't make us narcissists, because we're still very compassionate to what's happening out there, and we help when we can. But we also know that everybody's on their own path of evolution.
And I don't want to enable.
There's that too, right? There is that too.
But how do you help that person? How does a compassionate self help that person find their self, their path?
You offer them opportunities, and if they don't take it, that's not much you can do. We offer them the opportunities that we have. There are services out here. I know Judy specifically has gone to other services with her grandson to offer those. And, you know, what is that? Lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. You know, we can do what we can for people, and I think the key is to not beat ourselves up for what we think of as failing these folks that need help.
Reverend Laura?
Yeah, Scott.
Would be setting some limits be spiritual, or?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is so spiritually important for us to have our own boundaries, our own limitations. I was being yelled at by some people one day, and I stood up for myself, and the person looked at me and she said, "Well, that's real spiritual." And I said, "It is the highest spiritual work possible for me to stand up for myself and not let me be bullied by you. It is absolutely high spiritual practice to not let ourselves be taken advantage of and bullied by other people. Absolutely. We're out there looking out for ourselves and so forth. And boundaries, you know, I was one of the people that would give boundaries, like people talk about boundaries, and I was like, oh, you're just, you know, you're whatever. I had a hard time adjusting to boundaries until I learned the value of them. To have boundaries for ourselves is very, very important. To know what you're willing to do and not do. Mary?
I just want to say thank you for that, because I'm dealing with a situation similar to Judy's, and to hear that setting my boundaries is spiritual is, wow.
Absolutely. High holy work. It is high and holy work to do that for yourselves.
It takes strength and courage to do it.
Absolutely. Ton of strength and courage. You know, and living in our truth and allowing ourselves to be open to what is available to us in that experience. You know, always looking at what is here for me to know. Well, maybe for me to know in this situation is I know I need to have boundaries. Maybe that's what I need to know in this situation, to allow ourselves to actually move through it. Katie?
And then what's the best way forward if those boundaries are crossed?
That's where you have to stand up for yourself.
That's when he moves out.
Yeah.
Very good, because I've had the same situation, and that's what happened.
Yeah. Karen?
So in boundary work, we learned that no one else can cross your boundaries.
Absolutely. You're the one who gives up the boundary. You give up the border of your boundary. Nobody else crosses it. You open up the doors for it. So, you know, standing firm in our boundaries is so important for us. So, Teresa.
Related, but I've learned that never putting myself down has been a game changer. Never, ever putting myself down.
Absolutely, yes. You know, we are hardest on ourselves. We're harder on ourselves than anybody else could ever be. You know, I know I say this a lot, but it's from Michael Gott's song. I'd never say to anyone the things I say in my own mind. The things I say about myself, oh my goodness. But to get to that place where we no longer do that, what an empowering, boundary-setting thing that is. I am not, you know, to realize that I am the magnificence of the divine incarnate here on earth, how could I possibly put myself down? We are God-informed, folks, every single one of us. And we're showing up perfectly just the way that we are today. Yes?
Hearing what's coming through, letting it, listening to it. Something saying he needs to be on his own, or they need to be on their own, or I need to be on my own.
Mm-hmm.
But then that heart, no, that would be cruel and mean and heartless.
Mm-hmm.
That's silly mind speaking, when we need to be listening to the truth that's coming through, because that is what's supposed to be set in motion. We're holding it back with our own self instead of letting it come through, because maybe that's the divine.
Absolutely.
That needs to happen,
Yeah.
but our minds are stopping the voice that we're hearing.
You know, I mean, so many times in our lives we empower people to do wrong against us. that we empower them to abuse us. We empower them to take advantage of us simply by not creating those boundaries and not listening when there's, yes, our heart might be saying, oh, please, you've got to help this person. And the other part of it's like, this is not mine to do. This is not mine to do. And we, the more time we spend in spiritual practice, the more easily we discern those answers, whether it is ours to do or not, or whether we are at that place of being that compassionate person that takes care of them, or whether we're the compassionate person that liberates them. We have an opportunity all the time. Valerie.
This, everything that you're sharing and people are graciously opening up their hearts to share with all of us, this comes down to our very basic principles of release and embrace.
Mm-hmm.
Release that which is choking us, which isn't serving our highest good, so that we can open up to embrace whatever shows up to support our highest good.
Right. And it goes honestly back to that whole Marianne Williamson quote about, oh, now I just lost it. My greatest fear is not that I'm a fail. My greatest fear is that I am powerful beyond belief. We go back to that idea of we need to let go of the stuff that's holding us back and embrace that with greater yet to be that's coming through. And that's the truth for the other person too. That's the truth for the other person in the situation. Sometimes what we are doing that we appear as help is enabling them to stay stuck, to stay in their limitations. And so, like I said, having the boundaries for ourselves is just a really powerful thing to do. And opening ourselves up to, again, the question, the mystery, what is here for me to know? What is here for me to understand? What is here for me to use for the transformation and the evolution of my consciousness? Because that's what we're here about. That's the only thing we get to take with us, is our evolved consciousness onto our next experience. Everything else has to stay here. Every other person stays here. Everything else. All we get to take with us is our evolved consciousness. And so my goal is to evolve it as much as possible. There are some things challenges that I have that I don't really want to experience the next time around. So, I'll get rid of that stuff. So anyway, I appreciate you guys playing along with me today. I think that was it was good for me. I don't know about anybody else. It was good for me. All right, thank you. So let's take this into prayer, and I invite our spiritual practitioners to surround us, holding us in that high vibration of love that they do so beautifully. Oh, we have a nice full house today. Wonderful. Oh. I'm not sure I've ever prayed sitting down. Let's see. I'm sure there must have been a time. And so we just become still. And in that stillness, we open ourselves up to that magnificence that is the very heart of our being. That creative love intelligence that has brought us into existence, that is living itself through us. That part of us that knows that it knows that it knows. I know that part is peace. It's balance. It's harmony and perfection. Because I know there's only one, I know that I am one with it. That love intelligence has endowed me with everything. Everything I need, everything I'm yet to need. It is all perfect within me right here and right now. I know that the heart that beats in my chest is the heart of the divine, circulating its energy and life through my body, through my soul, through my consciousness. And as I know this is true for me, I know this is true for everyone. For we are all that perfect, magnificent emanation of a love that cannot be contained. And so, I knowing this, I speak my word of truth. I know that right here and right now, each one of us is part of that divine flow. That the energy of the divine is moving through us, touching every part of our bodies that it needs to touch right here and right now. I know that there is a harmony and a balance that is happening for every single one of us, in every body system, in every organ, in every cell of our bodies. And I know that this same divine harmony and peace emanates from us in all of our relationships. That there is a perfection and a grace that is moving through all of life, allowing us to coexist perfectly, just the way that we're designed to. I'm so grateful to know this. I'm so grateful to feel it. I'm so grateful to see it happening right here and right now. And I simply release this word into the law that always says yes, knows no limitations, never has any lack. It just simply unfolds itself in perfection always. I let it go and I let it be. And together we say, and so it is.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Ah, wonderful. All right, now is that time in our service where we have an opportunity to support our center financially. So we have several ways we can give. We have electronic ways through Zelle, through our text to give, and through our website. And then we also gratefully accept your cash and check donations here today. So if you would, take your offering, put it over your heart. If you have already given or you're giving electronically, go ahead and put your hand over your heart there too. And just repeat after me. This gift I give
This gift I give
goes forth from me,
goes forth from me,
does amazing and miraculous things,
does amazing and miraculous things,
and returns to me in kind,
and returns to me in kind,
pressed down and overflowing.
pressed down and overflowing.
So it is.
So it is. Here we go.
Circulation, circulation, like the water raining down to grow the flowers up through the ground. Circulation, circulation, the universe you give into, multiply it and send it back to you. Circulation, circulation, like the waters raining
raining down to grow the flowers up through the ground. Circulation, circulation. The universe you give into, multiply it and send it back to you. Circulation, circulation. Like the water raining down to grow the flowers up through the ground. Circulation, circulation. The universe you give into, will multiply it and send it back to you. Circulation.
Beautiful. Oh, and we just so generously receive these gifts, these offerings, knowing that each one has blessed us in untold ways. We are so grateful. We are so, so grateful. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, everyone. And so it is.
So it is.
Thank you. All right, Kelly, come on up. Got a couple of announcements here. I'll do the thing if you want. Oh, you got the socks back there. That's right. No, you're doing that thing. I'm doing this. I'm pushing that.
You do that thing. Well, good morning, everyone. As we talked about last week, we started our drive for Souls for Souls to collect socks for the local nonprofit foundation Friends in the Desert, who works 6 days a week serving meals to the homeless population in downtown Henderson. So bring your socks now through Father's Day and leave them in the box in the lobby. We are hoping to double last year's donation, making our goal this year 1,100 pairs of socks, and we've already surpassed 100 of those.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
First week.
Ooh, coming up, Sunday, June 2nd, from 12 to 2 o'clock, is our new member orientation. This is an opportunity for you to come see us for a short time to discover what it's like to be a member at CSLGLV. We'll get a chance to know us a little bit better. You'll discover what membership is, what you can expect from the center and the center expects from you. And we'll talk about what's next for your experience here as well as the center as a whole. So if you've ever wondered, please feel free to RSVP on the website and come spend some time with us. There's no obligation that day. If you decide it's not right for you, no pressure. Next up, this afternoon at 4:30 is the first Rhythm, Sound, and Soul, a new arts circle meeting every Thursday from 4:30 to 6:30 here in the sanctuary.
Not Thursday.
Did I say Thursday?
Sunday? Every third Sunday.
I need to make my letters bigger. Maybe. Sunday, that's today. And this gathering provides a safe container in which you can be present with ourselves and others through an expressive flow of rhythm, song, spoken word, and dance. You're invited to participate, co-create, and resonate with a new circle dedicated to the practice of presence and mindful communal play. The first circle focus today is finding our voice, so please bring a song or spoken word if you choose to share and join in the exploration of vocalizations, song, and words. The suggested donation is $10 to $20, but no one will be turned away, so please feel free to come participate. Next up, the Women's Sacred Circle. That is today also, Sunday, May 19th, beginning at 2:30. And it is a special one, too, because there is a guest presenter today, and that would be Cheryl Lambert. She's a Reiki practitioner and certified hypnotherapist. She's creating a journey inward for our powerful body and mind. The meditative session is designed to mindfully bridge our intentions and our own energy with the energy all around us, and will include the experience of sound and vibration with Tibetan sound bowls and tuning forks, drum, and flute to help bring you back in sync with your own flow. One quick reminder, Forever Young is a sacred circle that is open to all who are entering the later stages of their lives and are committed to making this chapter both meaningful and fulfilling. In this group, members explore a variety of themes to this stage of life, including personal growth, legacy, and the pursuit of passion and purpose, and that is this Thursday at 11 o'clock. Yep?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Well, Reverend Laura, after that wonderful talk today, there's no better person to talk to you about the class coming up, so I'll turn it over to her.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you so much. So we have a class that's starting on Tuesday. It's called Beyond Limits, and it is one of our foundational classes. This is where we begin to understand the principles and the practices that we use here at Centers for Spiritual Living. It is the first of our certificated classes. So if you want to take any other certificated classes, you need to have Beyond Limits as a prerequisite. So it's going to be Tuesday nights, 10 Tuesday nights from 6 to 8:30. I am making it available on for blended class. So if there's sometimes that you need to be at home and doing it on Zoom, you can do that. If you want to be here in person and do that, it works both ways that way. So I only have one person signed up right now. If we don't get more registrations, we will postpone it and have it later on. So this is probably the last day to register for Beyond Limits. So if you have any questions about it, please see me, and I'll be happy to tell you about this wonderful class. We also have a workshop on Saturday, May 25th. This is a process that I've just become a certified facilitator for, and it is a process of tapping into your own intuition, your own inner knowing, through a creative activity of making collaged cards. And then you allow the cards to speak from your own intuition and inner knowing. And so it's a really powerful process. I've been working with it for several years now, and it's just a great way. They say it's therapeutic but not therapy. So I like that. But it's a great way of moving through a lot of challenges in your life through tapping into your own intuition. All right, I think that's it. Okay, so make sure you check out the signs around the building for things that are happening. We have lots of new things happening all the time. There is a handout in the back Kaylee's got if you want to take something with you with the information about what's upcoming events. We have prayer available after service. It's right over here outside the hallway, just down from the bathrooms in our prayer room. So practitioners are available for you after service. And we would appreciate those of you that are physically able helping us stack the chairs so that we have the... do we need the chairs stacked?
Yeah, because of the thing today.
Oh, right. Yeah, the dance for today, that's right. We need the chairs stacked.
Yeah, stacks of 6.
It starts at that. Okay, so if you'd stack them into stacks of 6, we would appreciate that. All right, would you stand, please? We'll do a quick little spoken benediction, and then we're going to sing Use Me. So I feel moved to do this one because we haven't done it in a while. Repeat after me, please. Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my heart.
Life is in my heart.
Life is in all that I do.
Life is in all that I do.
I am it.
I am it.
I share it.
I share it.
And I'm becoming more of it.
And I'm becoming more of it.
Each and every day.
Each and every day.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
And so it is.
So
all right.
it is. Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Okay, last time now. Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. 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 Have a lovely week, everybody.